Hello everyone, my name is Jess and I am going to take you through a couple of movements that's going to help you activate and engage, and not only that, control your TVA, which is your transverse abdominis. Now, a lot of women who have gone through pregnancy most likely will have a weaker TVA or less control over that, and also in conjunction with their pelvic floor muscles. Now, it's not just pregnant women, it's also most women across the world, because they don't pay attention to their lower abdominals, and without proper control and strength in this area, a lot of us get that lower belly pooch or the lower belly flab area, and that is a common thing a lot of my clients ask to get rid of. And by doing these movements and by having the ability to control that area and also learn how to vacuum that area, you are most likely going to get rid of that little area over time. However, if you are holding quite a lot of fat mass in there, that will work with conjunction with a caloric deficit. So you are expending more energy than you actually are consuming. So by having those two married together, you're less likely to have the lower belly pooch. However, having control of the lower abs is actually quite core in a lot of lifts. And not only that, it's actually really good for your sex life. So if you can actually control the pelvic floor and your TVA quite well, your man's going to be happy. And not only that, it'll also help you in your birth of your child if you are pregnant, and also get you back to incontinence, and make sure to reduce your level of incontinence past your pregnancy. So our transverse abdominis is a ab muscle, or a series of ab muscles that most of us don't really know where it exists. So we have our rectus abdominis, which are the six-pack abs, our obliques, which are the nice ones on the side, and the TVA, the transverse abdominis. So it's inside and underneath the abs, or the noticeable abs. Now, to activate that, we can do a lot of lower ab work. However, a lot of us don't really know how to do this whole ab work. So the first thing they get people to do is learn a dead bug. However, before we get into any lower ab stuff, we're going to learn how to feel our pelvic floor muscle. Now, no one else can feel it except us, because it is an internal muscle. And there are a few key things that can help us become more aware of it. So when you are, for example, peeing, and you try and hold your pee for a second, that's your pelvic floor muscle sucking in and stopping you from peeing. Now, if you can have control of that, you're most likely not going to pee yourself. Also, think of it like pulling in your tampon. So put a tampon in, you want to suck it right up in that grill. Now, to do that, to learn how to feel that, what you want to do is come into the lower ab region, and I want you to pretend, like, without actually pulling your lower back into the ground, I want you to pretend you're wearing a pair of underwear. Now, with that piece of underwear, you want to try and make a gap between the top of your underwear and your skin. So, best way to do it is from here. You want to take a nice deep breath in, breathe out, and as you breathe out, pull it in right at the end of the breath. So you want to breathe in, breathe out, and then a slight tuck in. Now you'll be able to feel it tuck in through your vagina. And if you feel it a lot through the abs, it means you're turning on your abs a little bit too much. So you kind of don't want any movement through your abs at all. So we'll go through it once more. So breathe in, breathe out. And when you're almost out of the breath, slightly tuck in like you're holding a pee or putting in your tampon. Now you should feel that, and you should feel a little bit on the top here, but not too much. If you're feeling too much in here, you're activating your abs, and you shouldn't be at this point in time. We'll add that in a minute. So one more time. Breathe out. And suck it. Now we're going to add in the abs. So what you do is do the exact same movement, except make a little tense of the lower abs there, just like you're pulling this part of your stomach into the ground, but only slightly. Ready? So suck in and a little tense. If you feel it too much in your obliques, you'll probably going too much in terms of you're tensing too much. So it's only this little bit here. You ready? I'm going to hold that there and relax. So that is a common movement you can do to learn how to engage your pelvic floor. Now also, another thing to assess if you are having control in your pelvic floor in a squat is you can hop into a squat, pretend like you're pushing out a pee or a tampon, and then try and sucking that back in. If you feel the outgoing motion, it means it was already contracted and you're doing what you're meant to be doing. So what you want to do is take a nice diaphragmatic breath in. So you want to breathe into your stomach instead of your chest. You don't want to fill out your chest, you want to fill out your lungs. So breathe in. See how my stomach expand? That's my diaphragm working. So breathe into the stomach, tense, come into it, try and push a pee out and suck it back in. If you can do that, it means you have a nice good control of your pelvic floor. Now there are a few things you can do to start with. However, some other things that you can do to help with your transverse abdominis are these particular movements here. So hop into the ground and up. What you want to do, we're doing a single leg heel drop. We're not going to move the hip, the leg. The leg will stay there, it'll just be the hip moving. So breathe in, suck in, tense, slowly drop. Try to not let the lower back come off the ground. I find if I tuck my chin, I have more control. Now that's one movement you can do. Now, one thing you shouldn't do if, for example, you have been told you had some form of ab separation and you do not have the right control or functional control of your linea alba, which is the connective tissue that runs down in the middle of your abs. So you can assess if you have control of the connective tissue by hopping up into a crunch. So from here, now if you have a dome, if that dome's up, so for example, I can't do it. If that dome's up, it means your linea alba has no functional control there. Put this down. See, it's nice and flat there. Now, a way to assess your ab separation as well is to hop up into this, 2 fingers, and see if you can feel the connection between the 2 abs and the linea alba there. So I haven't had children, so my abs are quite intact. However, if you can get deep and feel wide, it means you have a bit of a gap there. For me, not too bad. However, a lot of women who have had children have a dome or some sort of separation if they didn't pay attention to this area throughout their pregnancy, or if they were just one of the unlucky people that, unfortunately, their abs separated throughout their pregnancy. Now we have to get control of the linea alba. However, sometimes that cannot happen. Sometimes you actually need surgery for this. Now, if you do have a dome, I will strongly advise you not to do sit-ups or sit-up variations because you do not have the control of that movement, and it can actually cause or wreak havoc on your abs in that movement as well. So please refrain from doing sit-ups, and what you want to do more so is gain control of that area. So I like to go into those heel drops there. You can also do heel sliders. I can't do this on the carpet, so I would wear socks and do it on my tiles. Or what I can do is from here, walk my feet out and see if I can bring it back in, but I can't do that on the carpet here. Now, not only that, you can do a dead bug variation, so come up into a crunch here and slowly lower one leg and have control through here. You don't have to go all the way down at all.
But the best bet is to do those heel drops to start with, and once you get control of that, then you can progress.
Now, your pelvic floor muscle is something that doesn't or shouldn't be neglected. So ladies, give those things a go. If you have any trouble, please let me know, or contact a women's health physio if you have had children and you do have the doming through the linea alba there, okay? So I have learned what I've just told you through a course, a pre and postnatal course through Jen, oh my goodness, I can never pronounce her surname, Duggan, I'm so sorry, Jen. However, it has helped me significantly with my mums. I can now help them with their pelvic floor contraction and release, and also provide them with movements that they should be doing as opposed to shouldn't be doing, and creating their incontinence worse. Thanks for tuning in.